Hey guys, Victor Bojo here with another J News. Today we're going to be talking about Japan's new Prime Minister. Kan, the last Prime Minister, finally resigned. He agreed a few weeks ago he would resign at the end of August after months and months of everyone just saying, please resign, please, quit already. He finally did it. It became a big joke in Japan that he would never resign. Anyway, right now Japan has a lot of problems. The Fukushima situation with the radiation and the Endaka, which is the high yen, which is very bad for the economy here because we export a lot. Japan exports a lot. I don't personally export anything. What's happening is that there was a 5-man race yesterday. The big guys, the top two in the running were a guy named Kaeda, who was backed by Ozawa, who's kind of a puppet master here in Japan. A lot of backroom dealing going on with this guy. He's kind of a puppet master, like I said, but his public image is so negative that chances of him ever becoming prime minister are 0 to 0, at least now. But you know how public memory, fades quickly, so who knows what's going to happen in the future. And the other guy was Maehara. Maehara was, as Tomiko, who appears on this program before, said, he's kind of handsome. But he had a big scandal a few months ago when a Japanese, a woman who's been living in Japan, known him forever but is technically Korean, donated money to his campaign, which disqualified him basically and created a big scandal. He had to step down. However, he was in contention here for a prime ministership. Anyway, there's a 5-man race. Very, very surprising to everybody. The two top vote getters at the end were Kaeda and this new guy, Noda. Now, let me explain how it works. If you get 50% of a 5-man race, if you get 50% of the vote, then you're in. But nobody got 50% of the vote, so they had a runoff. And as a result of the runoff, Noda won 215 to 177 votes, so he is the new prime minister. Little information on this guy. From what I've seen of the guy already, I like him. And that's my initial. Not that who cares what Victor thinks. Well, let me just tell you, I like him. He's like the American story. He's a poor guy, went to a good university. His parents were too poor to pay for their wedding. He worked like a blue-collar worker, going around reading meters at the electric company, things like that. And he's got a sense of humor. I mean, he gave a speech yesterday. He's funny. I mean, even I get the jokes, Not that must be lowbrow humor, but pretty funny. Everyone's laughing. And the new thing here is no side. We're no sides. Everyone's going to come together and become one Japan now, because Japan is really infamous for breaking up all these political parties. You have tons of political parties, and they're always dissolving and coming together, making a new political party. It's so difficult to keep track of who belongs to what company, to what party, and they're always jumping to other parties, and it's just a mess. But anyway, a little bit about this guy that might be interesting to everybody here, internationally speaking, is that actually back in August, I was watching this back in August. Noda said that A-class criminals, or AQ. Denpan, I think they're called. Senpan, I think they're called. They are not A-class criminals. Let me give you a little background. Okay. Now, after World War II, a lot of criminals. Now, I know people are going to disagree with me here, and I'm not saying anything regarding my opinion about this. Okay? Well, no, I will. Never mind. I'm going to give you my opinion. There's a place called Yasukuni Shrine, and a lot of the people who fought in the war are buried there, and including some A-class war criminals. Okay, now every year on, I forget what day, some important day, what is it? Oh yeah, the 66th anniversary of Japan's surrender in World War II. Some politicians, not every year, but there's an expectation for politicians to visit Yasukuni Shrine. Yasukuni, not crime, but shrine. And this year they didn't go, which I would say is probably a smart political move, to keep the neighbors, quiet. But every year, Korea and China get angry if anyone pays any attention to the Yasukuni Shrine because they think it's a form of disrespect. Now, personally, if you have a shrine that has a bunch of people in it who are already dead, some of them are criminals, some of them are not, then, I think it's okay to visit that shrine. If you go up to the criminal shrine and put some flowers in it, then maybe we can complain. But if you're just visiting the shrine, I think it should be okay. Anyway, this is where it gets interesting. Noda, the current prime minister now, he said that he does not think that A-class criminals should be considered A-class criminals. And he basically pissed off a lot of people, right? Here's a quote. Japanese Class A war criminals were in fact not war criminals. That's his statement. Now, that's not in contention today, But another thing to remember about Noda is that he did serve in Japan's non-military military, the self-defense forces. So that's something else to consider, something else to know. Anyway, I'm going to leave you a lot of links in the bottom here, and including one that talks about his impact on the economic situation, which if you've got any money invested in Japan or thinking about it, would be something to look at. But the one last thing I want to leave you with is that my students yesterday were telling me that he has an atsukurushii kao. Atsu is atsui, like hot. Kurushi is like painful. And kao is, of course, his face. And what this basically means, if you look at Google this word in the internet in Japanese, I'll leave the links here. I'll leave the Japanese in the description. And it basically means anyone who has a bulldog face. So he has this kind of face, and he was actually joking about his face. He's like, these are my looks. This is what you got. You know, kind of a take it or leave it thing. And I'm not going to resign quickly. And I don't think my approval rates are going to change, so I'm not going to resign, or I'm not going to dissolve the cabinet or anything like that. But he made a bunch of jokes like that. But he does have a kind of, well, he does have the intention to unite the country. And they went out yesterday and they asked a bunch of people, what do you think? You think anything's going to change? 66 said they have no expectations anything's going to change. And to be honest, I mean, honestly, and this is the same thing in America, the president and the prime minister really don't have that much power to change anything. But for some reason, we use them as a kind of target to focus our expectations, right? 44 people said they do have expectations because Noda said, no side, meaning we are united. And let's just hope that he's right. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back soon with another J News video soon.